During question period yesterday, NDP MPP Michael Mantha called on Doug Ford to stop his cuts to autism services that is leaving northern children with autism without the care they need and making things worse for families in small communities. Mantha, the MPP for Algoma Manitoulin, shared the story of one northern family with the legislature.
Marshall, a little 4-year-old boy from Manitouwadge, was diagnosed a year ago with severe autism spectrum disorder. His mom, Adriana, is a single mom who is trained to work in the healthcare sector. Unfortunately, she had to quit her job to take care of her son full-time at home. Adriana can't work or find a rental unit that is affordable enough to allow her to pay for her son's therapy. This is the reality of too many families in Northern Ontario, and nothing in this government's changes to the autism program will fix it. Why is the Premier leaving people like Marshall and Adriana with no options left?
Ontarians are set to learn the government's plans today for an overhaul of the healthcare system. Health Minister Christine Elliott is set to introduce legislation this afternoon and will make an announcement on it this morning. A leaked draft version of the bill that the NDP revealed late last month showed that Ontario was planning a health super agency. That draft legislation indicated the government could roll local health integration networks, Cancer Care Ontario, eHealth Ontario, and other government health agencies under the super agency umbrella. Elliott says there have been changes since the draft bill was leaked. The NDP has warned that language in the draft bill allows for greater privatization in the health system, but Elliott has said the legislation will not include two-tier care, private hospitals making patients pay for more services out of pocket, or privatizing services such as long-term care inspections and the air ambulance service. Foreign Affairs Minister Chrystia Freeland said last night that Canada and its allies are well down the road to crafting a long-term post-Maduro recovery plan for Venezuela's disastrous economic decline. And she said Canada and its allies are looking at ways of ratcheting up sanctions on Nicolas Maduro, Venezuela's socialist leader, so they will have more bite. After a day-long meeting of the Lima Group countries yesterday, Freeland said work is being done with opposition leader Juan Guaido as well as international financial institutions because there needs to be a plan to help Venezuela recover from hyperinflation and a massive humanitarian crisis that includes shortages of food and medicine. In the shorter term, she echoed U.S. Vice President Mike Pence, who announced new sanctions on supporters of Maduro as the U.S., Canada, its Latin American allies in the Lima Group, and dozens of other countries seek to propel Guaido into power. Pence called on Canada and its Lima Group allies to transfer frozen Venezuelan assets in a speech at their summit in Colombia. Police say a woman and her teenage daughter in Philadelphia are facing homicide charges in the deaths of 5 relatives, including 3 children inside an apartment.
I have to report that we have 2 suspects in custody for the homicide of 5 people at this apartment complex behind me. Shayna Decree, 45 years old, and her daughter Dominique Decree, 19 years old, were both treated earlier and are now in custody. 5 counts of homicide each and 1 count of criminal conspiracy. They're both residents of apartment S7, where we found 5 of their relatives today about 4 p.m. All 5 of them are deceased, and they are as follows: Shayna Decree's children, Naira, age 25, Damon Decree Jr., age 13, Shayna Decree's sister, Jamila Campbell, age 42, and Campbell's twin daughters, Erica and Imani Allen, both age 9.
Conservative leader Andrew Scheer says Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's fingerprints are all over the scandal around the prosecution of SNC-Lavalin and asks why there was pressure on former Attorney General Jody Wilson-Raybould. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, meanwhile, says former Attorney General Jody Wilson-Raybould will be able to testify at a Commons committee on the ongoing scandal around the prosecution of SNC-Lavalin without affecting any ongoing court cases.
The story has changed nearly every single day since this scandal first broke, and Canadians deserve answers. Now, the Prime Minister first said that the allegations contained in the Globe and Mail story were false, that no direction or even pressure was applied on the former Attorney General. Now we find out from the Clerk of the Privy Council that the Prime Minister's fingerprints are all over this sleazy affair to let his friends off the hook. So once again, if the decision was the former Attorney General's and hers alone to make, why did he try so often to get her to change her mind?
The government will confirm that the member from Vancouver Granville will be able to address relevant matters at the committee while ensuring that the two active court cases are not jeopardized. We, of course, continue to welcome the studies by the Ethics Commissioner and the Parliamentary Committee.